Mercy.
Negotiations right now?
Well, guys, I believe it accomplishes two things. I do believe it gives them the quality backup that they need, that they have not had since Dak took over the starting job and Tony Romo was injured. He came out the injury. And obviously, we know Tony Romo was a starter for a substantial amount of time and had proven. So if something had happened to Dak, they were more than comfortable having Tony Romo go back in, considering that was the direction they really wanted to go in to begin with, Skip. But on the flip side, I do believe it gives them some leverage over Dak because it says, okay, Dak, now we feel very comfortable. This guy's been a starter for a long period of time. He's won the division. He's won 50, Skip. I mean, he won 50 games in his first 5 years. So we know what he's capable of doing. We want you, Dak, but we want you at our number. So I believe it's twofold. It gives them the quarterback that they need as a quality backup that they need. Because, Skip, I believe if something were to happen to Dak, I don't believe personally. I could be wrong, and a lot of other people would be proven wrong if Cooper Rush could come in this with all that pressure and lead the team if something were to happen to Dak for an extended period of time. Andy Dalton has been a starter. I believe Andy Dalton could come in if something were to happen.
Was advantage Jerry Jones. This was a shocking steal of a deal of a quote-unquote backup quarterback
Derek Young,
who, as you point out, Shannon, won a whole lot of football games for a bad team in Cincinnati. Andy Dalton is a three-time Pro Bowler who carried that team to the playoffs with the help of A.J. Green, but he did it 4 times. The Bengals made the playoffs 4 times under Andy Dalton. And all of a sudden, the big D in Dallas is not Big Dak. I think it's Big Dalton. Because Andy Dalton chose the Dallas Cowboys over. I'm going to guess that New England was somehow in the sweepstakes here. I'm going to guess that Jacksonville might have kicked the tires with Gardner Minshew as its starting quarterback. And I'm going to know that Andy Dalton said, I choose Dallas for $3 million base a year. He was scheduled to make $17.7 million this coming year for the Cincinnati Bengals. He's obviously made a lot of money in Cincinnati in pre-contracts. But now, Jerry Jones says, I've got the best backup in the league. I've got the best backup that Dallas has ever had since Danny White backed up Roger Staubach.
Best backup.
I got a Pro Bowl backup. And I've got an ace in the hole. Because all of a sudden, Jerry, who is winning and owning the offseason, has thrust Dak and his new agent back on their heels. They had Jerry dead to rights because they kept saying, in effect, what are you going to do, Jerry? Play Cooper Rush? You're going to play Cooper Rush? He's completed 1 pass in 3 attempts for 4 yards. Is that what you want to go with next year if we decide to hold out into the season? Is that what you're going to do, Jerry?
Is that what you're going to do?
And now Jerry
Is that
can
what you're going to do,
say,
Jerry?
guess what I'm going to do now?
I'm
going to play Andy Dalton in games that count if we can't come to terms. And all of a sudden, Dak Prescott has to wonder, wait a second, did I just lose all my leverage? Because remember, Shannon, that the franchise tag is placed on Dak right now, but it could be rescinded at any moment. If Jerry thinks this negotiation has gone completely south, if it's deadlocked, impasse, stalemated, it's possible before the July 15th deadline that he just say, okay, we rescind. We give up. You're asking for outrageous, out-of-bounds money, Dak Prescott, and that's what I believe from the start he is asking for. Because remember, Jerry's MO, his history is of overpaying players he treats like sons. In this case, this is the first case where he couldn't get this one done because I believe Dak and his new agent are asking for money that's beyond comprehension. It has not been reported This is what I've been told. I don't know the figure. I just think they're asking for way out of bounds money that even Jerry Jones says that's too rich for my blood. I've got to have some responsibility to my salary cap. And no, Dak, I'm not going to do that for you. I'm not going to go beyond what Patrick Mahomes is about to get from Kansas City. So in the end, now Dak has to wonder, would he yank the tag? That's $31.4 million next year. Is it possible that suddenly he'd say, okay, heck with you, I'll just go with Andy Dalton? Whatever the case, a fire just got lit under Dak Prescott. And I, for one, am loving it because I feel much better about the Dak negotiation now that Jerry has Andy Dalton as his, he's got two aces in the hole. That's the equivalent of having a backup and a starting quarterback sitting right there on the bench, ready to jump in if necessary. And it's feeling like it just might be necessary.
Well, hello, friends. Margo's here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys, for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, man, I'd be sitting here talking to my damn self, and I'd probably be as crazy as Skip. So let's get open for business, and let's wake up the football gods. And Miss Jackie sent me a text message. She said, you better put your bulletproof armor on tonight because the trolls are going to be flying. You better be ready to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee because I know all you guys are coming after me. So let's get to it, man. Let's just deal with this stuff. Man, I'm going to tell you guys, the fact that we got Andy Dalton, that, you know what? He's comparable to Dak Prescott. You heard these guys say this guy won 50 games in 4 years. Or 4 years? 4 years? 4 years. Oh, it's 5 years. Excuse me. 50 games in 5 years when he first got into the league. He was a multiple Pro Bowler, and he went to the playoffs for 4 years. 4 years, Andy Dalton. Oh, my God. And it was, let me make sure I got it now. 4 times in the playoffs. Big Dalton, they said. No, not Andy Dalton. Big Dalton, because he's a big-time player. Best backup the Dallas Cowboys have had since Danny White was the punter and quarterback. Andy Dalton has won a lot of games. Interesting. I have gotten more text messages, emails, phone calls, comments from people telling me Dak is going to walk. We got a real quarterback now. I'm trying to understand what it is about Andy Dalton that says he's the guy. He's better than Dak Prescott. Oh, thank God. We can get rid of that bum Dak Prescott. We got a great guy in Andy Dalton. And I'm not disparaging Andy Dalton, okay? I'm not disparaging. I'm actually looking at this and saying, this was a good thing. Stephen Jones always says player acquisition is a 365-day-a-year job. And you look at anybody and everybody who can make your team better. Right? And we've seen what happens when you have a quarterback that gets injured, Philadelphia Eagles, how having a quality backup can win you a Super Bowl. And you couldn't look at Cooper Rush and say, hey, if Dak goes down, we got Cooper Rush. And the fact that you release Cooper Rush, who just got a new contract, $2.14 million, which is now cut, and we didn't have to pay a dime of that, and you're only playing Andy Dalton, you got that guy for $850,000. That's pretty good business, I have to say. If Dak goes down, okay. But this whole thing of how they've shaded this shit is amazing. Because here's the thing. Yes, he took his team to the playoffs 4 times. And all 4 times they lost. Now, you know, I'm not going to put it all on him. He played with the Bengals, not exactly New England Patriots. However, in those 4 games, he had 873 yards, 1 TD, 6 interceptions. That works out to 218 yards, a quarter of a touchdown, 1.5 interceptions, 55.7 completion percentage, and averaged 5.5 yards a pass. And that was 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. That was over 5 years ago. Okay. So if we just go, just hear me out. Because what you guys say is, well, he didn't have any talent in Cincinnati. Right? Because I'm looking at the last 4 years of his career. I did my homework. I did some homework, okay? In the last 4 years, with him leading the team, he's 20-35. 80 TDs, 45 interceptions, 13,568 yards, average 6.9 yards per completion, 86 QBR, and 8 rushing TDs. So in your guys' mind, let me make sure I get this straight. In your guys' mind, this is better than what we have. This is better than what we have, right? Right? Because I know you're saying, well, you know, he ain't got people around him. But it's funny, when we said in 2018, when we had Bryce Butler, Cole Beasley, Terrence Williams, and Alan Hearns, and we were like, yo, bro, and no Jason Witten. We said, yo, bro, he ain't got nobody. And what do we hear him say? You're a franchise quarterback, and you elevate the people around you. You know, you don't get that excuse. Carlos B., thank you very much for that super chat, buddy. Appreciate it. So now we're using that excuse for him, though. We can't use it for Dak. We can't use it for Dak. Right? Right? Because they always say, dinking and dunking Dak. Yet, here's what's amazing. You talk about Dak Prescott regressed his sophomore year, right? Dak stinked. Dak was a bum. Dak was dink and dunk. He couldn't do crap. Nothing. He sucked. Get him out of here. He's going to be flipping burgers at Burger King in 2 years. I had a guy say that to me. And all you guys out there partying. Oh, man, yeah. How's it feel, Mark, to know that Dak Prescott's on his way out? How you feel? Make sure you get that liquor bottle. Come on, man. Come on, man. Just Mike. So let me make sure I get this straight. In the 4 years that Dak Prescott's been here, and we've said Dak Prescott stunk the place up in 2014, that he's a dink and dunker, that he can't get the ball downfield. Right? It's kind of funny because in that time, Dak had 2,192 more yards than Andy Dalton. Dak had 17 more touchdown passes than Andy Dalton. Had 9 less interceptions in more games than Andy Dalton. Averaged 7.6 yards, even when he was dink and dunk Dak, right? Averaged 7.6 yards more per pass, which was 3/4 a yard more per pass than Andy Dalton. And his rating was 10.5% higher than Andy Dalton. Oh, and he had 13 more TDs rushing than Andy Dalton. So let me make sure I get this straight. Your solution is to take a guy whose numbers are considerably lower, who is older, and he's the starter and he will be better than Dak? Do I have that right? Now, I'm not saying that he's a bum. He's not a bum. He's been a decent quarterback on a bad team that's gotten beat up. But to say that this guy is better, we're better off just letting Dak go. Rescind the franchise tag. Take that money back. We got Andy Dalton. We're good. Come on, man. Come on, man. Here's what this is. The Dallas Cowboys are all in on this season. Jerry Jones realizes he's not getting any younger. And now they have a new coach, a coach who actually has had experience in running a team and having a point of view of all of the positions, all of the coaching deals, having gone to a Super Bowl, having had more playoff wins at AT&T than Jason Garrett did, and is allowing that guy to make decisions on a team level. And this is covering all our bases. You look at this whole offseason. I ask you, where have the Dallas Cowboys not tried to get somebody in every single position and get somebody else to back up? We assigned Greg Zuerlein to go with, Forbath. Forbath actually played pretty good. Forbath actually did a hell of a lot better than broke-ass Maher. Can't call him Money Maher anymore. He broke ass now. But you brought in Zuerlein for competition for that guy. You got Joe Looney. You end up drafting a center in the draft. The Cowboys are making sure they cover all the bases. If Dak goes down, if Dak holds out, they're making sure they have somebody other than Cooper Rush. Because honestly, would you feel comfortable for Cooper Rush became our starting quarterback for any length of time? Cooper Rush? Come on. I'll take Ben DiNucci before I'll take Cooper Rush. Mark, the fact is, even if Dak wins the Super Bowl, he will never be good. You know, Dennis, you're 100. You're 100 on that. And that's the reality, because it's funny. It's funny because other guys, we find a reason to take what they do and make it better than what it is. We take things that are good that Dak does, and we find a way to make them not count, or they're not as good as they were. During the season last year, we heard him talk about Carson. Carson Wentz's numbers are better than what they are because he's got guys that are dropping passes. Dak Prescott has guys dropping more passes than Carson Wentz. And they say, oh, well, you can't count those yards. They're garbage time yards. Wait. You said his numbers are better than what they really are because you said they drop passes. We lead the league in drop passes, and our quarterback has more yards, but you say those yards don't count because they're in garbage time. Do I have that right? We went through and we said Dak is dinking and dunking down the field. Dak Prescott, he's look, the bus driver. See, I see the trolls. The bus driver. He's got a picture of Dak. I'll take Andy as a starter. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. You can take your Andy Dalton as a starter ass right the hell out of here. How about that one? Okay? How about that one? Take it on out, because this ain't the channel for you, buddy. This ain't the channel. This is a move that you actually have to applaud because of the price tag. You improved your backup position. You did it for dirt cheap. A guy who was making $17 million last year is making $3 million here. As far as Dak goes, I'm going to tell you, we've seen, because as they put it, you know, that's the best backup Cowboys that had since Danny White. You know, we've brought in a lot of guys who've had experience in the NFL. I mean, we can talk about Butt Fumble. You know, Butt Fumble was in AFC Championship games, right? Which is further along than anything Tony Romo did. And when we go back to Andy Dalton with his playoff his 0-4 playoffs. And I'm not trying to let you call in. Okay, I tell you, hold up. Let me turn on the Skype for you, man. I'm not trying to belittle him, but see, you guys keep trying to elevate him above and beyond. You guys make it sound like he is Joe Montana. You listen to Skip, oh man, Jerry and them are, they're happy that they got this guy. Yeah, he did some decent things 5 years ago. But this guy got benched in Cincinnati. You know what he won? What he won was the number 1 pick for Cincinnati. That's it. His playoff record makes Tony Romo look like Joe Montana. But be that as it may, we're all free to have our opinions, and that's the great thing here about YouTube is this is my show, and it's my opinion. So I'm giving you my opinion. My opinion is the Dallas Cowboys, if you have Andy Dalton as your starter, you're going to lose. You're going to take a step back. Who remembers Kyle Orton that season? But see, we've had Bernie Kosar. Bernie Kosar was a pretty good quarterback. We had Vinny Testaverde, pretty good quarterback. We had a Super Bowl winner in Brad Johnson. We had Randall Cunningham, Randall the Vandal. How many of those guys played in the playoffs for us? How many of them? Because those are guys that had success. Those were guys who went to playoffs. Those were guys that some of them won Super Bowls. Okay, let's see if we got him here. Uh-oh.
What's going on, man?
Let's see. Can you see me, brother?
I can't see you. I see Joe Budo. I see I see you now.
Okay. I don't see. Oh, you don't have a camera on?
Yeah, I got the camera on. Let me see what's going on with that.
You there.
Let me see if I can. Good old Skype. I should have zoomed you in, right?
You could have zoomed. Yeah, you could have zoomed me in. But either way.
Yeah.
But I've been dealing. I don't know how much hate you've been getting today. And I don't. I'm not sure. I don't know which side of the fence you're on because I'm just checking because I've been kind of busy. I've been in here fighting like crazy. How you doing, Sarah, Travis, Sheila, James, Nook, Desattery, Freight, William? What's up, y'all? Pick and pop. Okay. I've been getting punched, kicked, shouted out, cussed out, laughed at. You name it. It's happened to me today with all of the Dak Prescott haters.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy in a sense because.
Oh, there he is.
You can see me now?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull it. Okay. All right. So this is part of the craziest.
Mm-hmm.
For one, I got to protect the Dallas Cowboys.
Uh-huh.
So many people are calling Jerry Wayne Jones racist.
No. Well, no.
And for that part of it, that what makes me upset. That what makes me mad because when you look at the totality of it, yes, I will say that Tony Romo got his bag, right? He got his money.
Mm-hmm.
But who is to say that
2 8-8 seasons?
Who is to say that Tony Romo agency did not, you know what I'm saying? Did not accept the first agreement. You see, I got a text from Dak Prescott cousin that literally says that, hey, it's not about the money. It's about the years.
Yeah,
but also
we've all heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. We all heard about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Dak Prescott is not the type of person to push. It's about his agency that's pushing for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're trying to make a name for it because
right.
It's, hey, look what I did for Dak Prescott. That gets some more clients. I mean, that's their name.
Right. So that's the situation. Now, if Dak Prescott were to go ahead and sign that first deal, we wouldn't be talking about none of this stuff. So it's not the fact that the Cowboys are not trying to pay Dak Prescott.
Regardless of whatever he signs, anytime there's an interception, the hater's gonna say, we paid him how much for that interception? He sucks. We wasted our. It don't matter. Okay,
It doesn't matter.
He
You
can
can't
take
win-
$5
you
million
can't
a
win this
year, and they would
situation
say, "See what happens when you get a bargain basement quarterback." You know, the reality is these guys hate Dak Prescott. It doesn't matter who it is because they've turned around and now they've made that. You know, Andy Dalton is Joe Montana reincarnated now. We got a real quarterback now. You know, you hear him on First Take and stuff talking about, you know, he took the team to the playoffs 4 years. You know, 4 years he would play. He 3-time Pro Bowler. Yeah, okay, that was back in 2011, 12, 13, 14. 2016, he's got 20 wins in the last 4 years versus 35 losses. When he did make the playoffs in 4 damn games, like I was saying, he made Tony Romo look like a superstar in the playoffs because he had 1 touchdown pass in 4 games with 6 interceptions. I mean, come on.
And they crumble when they get to the playoff. That's the the situation with that.
But the thing that kills me is the things they killed Dak for, they turn around and they go ahead and credit other people for. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, now they're saying, oh, well, you know, he didn't have a team around him, right? Oh, of course, you put him on this team, he's going to be a superstar. Anybody could be. And I say, well, look at the 2015 season.
Yeah.
We had the best offensive line in football. Yeah. We had Darren McFadden that was running. I believe we were 4th in rushing the football. You know, we had a okay defense. You know, they were 19th in the NFL. They were better than the year before. But those, you know, Matt Castle was a veteran quarterback, right? He won in New England. He was a Pro Bowler in Kansas City, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But he won one game. Mm-hmm. That was it. And so you had 3 quarterbacks. 12 games, they won 1 game. And Dak comes in the next year and wins 13 games with that team. So, and of course, it's, oh, well, you know, he had talent all around him. And it's the whole misnomer of, you know, you've had the best offensive line. We did have the best offensive line, I would say, 2014, 15, and 16. But some of these years, we've had some problems with that offensive line. We've had Tyron Smith that's been going out. You know, as good as Travis Frederick was, he still was not as the same player he was before he had the Hillian-Barr syndrome. And I think that in his mind, he was not that player that he had been. And that was part of the reason why he stepped away. Alex Jones, thank you very much for that super chat. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
And, you know, we've had Connor Williams 2 years, who's been injured twice.
But you know what's going to happen, though, right?
What's that?
Do you think Andy is looking at this situation and saying, hey, I want to be a backup quarterback? Do you think he's going to look into this?
But you know what he may also be looking to, because he's got a house in Dallas. He's been getting the crap beat out of him in Cincinnati. You know, it might be, hey, it'll be nice to go home to Texas. I can chill for a year, you know. I can let my body heal, and then I can try and see what happens. You know, look at Ryan Tannehill. He resurrected his career, you know, in Tennessee, and ended up getting paid. So, you know, from that standpoint, really, what were his options? Now, they say there were 5 teams that were interested in him. I don't know what 5 teams were. You know, the way you listen to Skip and Shannon, that it was the Andy Dalton sweepstakes. I don't know if it was really the sweepstakes or not. You know, right now it looks like to me it's musical chairs, and there's not a whole lot of opportunities. And when you look at some of the spots out there, you're not looking at too many starting roles. Out there. Right. And so, you know, if you got to be a backup, let me be a backup in Dallas. At least I can get the headlines. I can at least enjoy myself.
He gonna get the headlines, and he gonna get the treatment that, you know, the same thing that Randall Cobb did, or the same thing that Robert Quinn got.
Right.
He looking at those things too. Play 1 year, as a backup player, get the hype buzz about him, and then he gonna try to move on. But his ultimate goal, I think that he want to become a starter, though.
Everybody wants to be. Tierra, I love that.
Right.
I question some of your common sense. Man, I love that. We got the haters in the house. Okay, welcome all you haters and everything else. See, you know who's happier about this more than anybody else?
Ooh, tell me who.
The Eagle fans. The Eagle fans are like, oh, man, this is taking all the heat off of us having to draft Jalen Hurts in the 2nd round. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about these silly Eagles. Man. Go ahead, because we got to talk about them.
Okay.
You know, they try to pull the old Al Davis card, drafting all of these wide receivers that got speed. Remember, Al Davis did that already.
Yep, just go deep, man. Just win, baby. Just win, baby.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, this is the way. If you're an Eagle fan, you got to look at this and say, "Damn, we should have done that." Because the Eagles to go through and take a second-round pick to draft a guy that hopefully will only be a backup when they could have gotten an offensive weapon instead. That guy's not looking to be a bench warmer for very long. He's looking to get a role. To go ahead and take that guy with a draft pick, we turn around, we take the receiver they wanted, and we sign a veteran quarterback that you got to say will be better than Jalen Hurts, if he has to start immediately, right? Mm-hmm. And he only cost us really $900,000 because we got rid of Cooper Rush. We saved $2.14 million. We signed Andy Dalton, only guaranteed for $3 million. So really, $850,000 we signed him. So if you're the Eagles now, you're like, damn, we could have had him backing up just like we had Nick Foles. We could have used that draft pick on somebody else. Damn, fucking Cowboys. It's like, damn, they got us on CD, and damn, they got us on the quarterback too.
Right. They invested draft capital with the second overall, second draft pick to get a Jalen Hurts, who's a developmental quarterback himself. Right. And trust me, we like Jalen Hurts as a fourth round quarterback, somebody that can develop, but as a second round quarterback, everybody's scratching their heads. Yeah.
I see JV says, do we think Dak Prescott's going to hold out the first games? I hope not. Now, there's two thoughts in my mind why the deal hasn't been done right at the moment, okay? One, I think Dak Prescott right now is grieving for his brother. I mean, that was only a week and a half ago that he lost his brother. And one of the things that his mother supposedly had said to him was, I want you to keep the family together. For Dak to lose his mother, 5 years ago, and now lose his brother, there's a whole lot of grief that's going on right now. The second thing is, Jerry Jones, when he gets this deal done, he doesn't want this thing to just hit the wires. He wants to be there. This is my guy. We got the biggest contract for a quarterback, Dak Prescott. He's going to be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys for many, many years, and he's going to get us. He's itching to do that. He's itching to have that big press conference. And that's where they're kind of waiting. And the third thing is I think the NFL wants to make sure, or at least Jerry Jones wants to make sure, we are going to have a season. Because if there ends up not being a season and you sign that contract with Dak, he's getting that guaranteed money today, right? Yeah. If the season ain't going on until the following year, well, do you want to give him a check for $60 or $70 million today, or you want to wait till next year and hold on to that cash? Because I know right now with everything that's going on, I ain't making a big purchase unless I know I absolutely have to. I'm trying to hold on to my cash just in case.
Yeah, that's a wonderful thought track there. My only thing is that they do have a deal on the table.
They do.
They do have a deal on the table. So Dak Prescott can roll out his bed tonight and say, you know what, 2 tears in a bucket, forget what my agency is saying. I'm going to sneak down there and sign the deal myself. Yeah. But he really want that 4-year situation. The agency really want that 4-year situation from what I've heard. Yeah. So it's a point right
that's
now.
The going way it's going. Nobody's signing long-term deals. See, the Cowboys are trying to make him do what nobody else is doing. Kirk Cousins signed for 3 years, and 2 years into it, he ends up getting extension 2 more years, and so they can create some cap space with another 2 years with $66 million guaranteed. So if you're Dak Prescott, you're already looking and saying Kirk Cousins is guaranteed to make $200 million in his career. I've got $4 million, and I'm already 4 years in. How many years do I have left to earn? I need to try and make up some of this cash. And whether the fans out there think that he's being greedy and should go pound sand, the reality is he's been grossly underpaid for what he has done for 4 years. And if you're the Cowboys, you should look at it and say the reason we were able to sign all of these players right now is over the last 4 years, he enabled us to get out from underneath Tony Romo's contract, Des Bryant's contract. You remember you remember how we used to start off the offseason like $20-25 million over the cap? We'd have to gut the team, or we'd have to restructure contracts just to be able to get under the cap to start the season. The fact that we had money this year was money that they never had to pay Dak Prescott. And if you're the Cowboys, if you're the Cowboys, you should turn around and say, you know what? He's done everything, He's played for 4 years for $4 million. Let's go ahead and give him the 4 years instead of the 5. Let's go ahead and just break bread here. Just get this thing done. The salary cap's going to be going up. Amazon's already renewed their contract with the NFL to do Thursday nights for streaming. Right now with the NFL, having a 35% increase in viewership for the draft. If they get football on TV, viewership, as starved as everybody is going to go through the roof. And they're renegotiating the television contracts. They're going to be printing money. Money's not going to be an issue. I'm sorry. I'm hogging the mic here. I'll let you go ahead and get in here.
No.
I need to pour me a drink here. That's what I need to do. But the thing is here, we've heard Stephen Jones say that we want to surround Dak with great players and stuff. Haven't we done that now?
We did. We got all of the great players around Dak Prescott. We got everything he wanted. Now, I will say this. One thing that I can say about Jerry Wayne is that he a shrewd business guy. He loves to reel and deal.
Oh, I know that.
The other thing is he's stubborn. He's flat out stubborn. Right or wrong.
Okay.
You met him.
Oh, I know. Met him? Yeah, he said, give me some more of that cash. It's like you got more money than I could ever dream of, and you trying to take the little bit I got. No, I'm gonna try and make sure I'm gonna try and do this politically correct, okay? But I know from being a general contractor and having to do construction work and stuff like that, there's certain people that no matter what price you give them, they still want a deal. You can go ahead and have a rock bottom price. No, man, I need you to take some more money. And that's like, no, dude, I'm giving it to you now. And they're going to go ahead and beat you down, to make sure that they feel like they got a deal over on you. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's Jerry Jones right now, that, we got to get a deal. But we always do this, though. It makes no sense to me, Law. We said this with D-Law. Oh, man, we thought we'd get a deal for $19 million. He want more money. And what happens? They paid him. He still got the money, right?
Right, he still got it. And it is the same situation.
Zeke Elliott, the same thing.
Ezekiel Elliott,
Because
let's go on.
You remember Jerry talking about Zeke. In fact, let me play the clip for everybody out there. Because everybody keeps thinking that, this is just Dak Prescott, that they don't believe in Dak. But you guys remember this.
Zeke who?
Yeah. Zeke who? You guys remember. He sat there like I don't need Eddie, thank you for the super chat. He was basically like, Zeke who? Like, we don't need Zeke and all that, but we found out we needed Zeke, though, didn't we? So
we did needed him, yeah.
And it was one of those things, we're not going to reset the market for Zeke Elliott. He got 2 more years left on his contract. And what did they do? After having him sit out and hold out, just like you had D-Law not get his damn shoulder done, you end up still paying him premium dollars. And you create a rift on the team. You slow them down. It's just like, I don't know, Dan the Man Cunningham. I'll give you a shout out later, man. I'll get back to you on that.
Yes, indeed.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
You know why Jerry feel that way? You remember the situation with Jimmy Johnson. Shout out to for the shot. You remember Jimmy Johnson, Mark?
Yeah.
When he started flirting with Jacksonville. Yeah. It wasn't Miami, it was Jacksonville.
Right.
And that rubbed Jerry the wrong. That was like pretty much one of the last straws that broke the camel back before he went into the bar and started taking shots or whatever. And he was just laughing in Jerry Jones' face. Jerry is all about loyalty. So when Jerry sees the fact that Dak Prescott will not agree to his terms, of course he's going to be stubborn. Of course he's going to be back and forth with Dak Prescott agency. And this is what we see at face value and face view right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, Eddie wants to say hello to you, Law. Yeah, Eddie wants to talk to you. Yeah, but eventually this thing's going to get done. Eventually it's going to get done. And also too, Jerry likes the limelight. Here it is. Everybody is rolling with every move that the Cowboys make. He literally has the whole floor. And the ESPNs, the Fox Sports ones and all that, they are loving it, because they got this to talk about. You got Jabba the Hutt, Jason Whitlock, saying that, Andy Dalton's a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. And now they got a real quarterback. Really? Really? Okay. I mean, let me get your thoughts on Andy Dalton.
All right. Before I go there, I just got to point out right quick. Stephen A. Smith, Shay Sharp, even Skip Bayless. Where were they all this year or all last year when they was talking about garbage time stats and all of this stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but now you see how it flipped on them? Oh, now they want to say, let's pay Dak. Let's give Dak his respect. Let's put some respect on Dak's name. But where were they all last year, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. True on that one.
In no way, look.
No way, no how.
No way, no how. That guy, boy, I can tell you. And on top of this, my guy Mark and Joe Boo over there, this Jason Whitlock, come on, man. Who is believing what that brother is saying? Especially by Andy Dalton, because the same argument in the same breath conversational piece, remember, they were saying that Tony Romo can't win playoff games. He can't win playoff.
That's what I said. Yeah, all right. Stuart, thank you very much for that super chat. Yeah, 2 or 3 Super Bowls at least. That's what I'm saying. Andy Dalton is 0-4 in the playoffs and hasn't been in 6 years. So I'm like, how you think? Oh, but they come up with the whole thing of, well, he didn't have a team around him. He didn't have a team. You put him on this team that tells he gonna be all pro. He gonna be MVP. I'm just like, come on, y'all. Mm-hmm. Do y'all really believe that? In the back of my mind is some. I know when I say this, somebody's going to cut this and paste it and put it up. But in some regards, you almost want to see the team have to play without Dak Prescott so that way they can realize what they actually have. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because we got spoiled having Tony Romo and then getting Dak Prescott. We haven't gone the routes of the Washington Redskins that went through and traded for Donovan McNabb and traded up to get RG3, sign, Alex Smith to $68 million, draft Haskins and things like that. We haven't had to go through this year after year after year trying to find a quarterback and things, and we have been literally spoiled. Do you think that, if you took the play that we've had with quarterback, and if we ended up having a defense that was a little bit better and taking the football away and stopping the run and a little bit better special teams, Dak Prescott would have been MVP last year.
Yeah.
People don't seem to understand that. Dak, if your defense had played up to par with your offense and your special teams where your kicker literally missed, 11 kicks last year? 11 kicks, before, and I don't know why they kept sticking with them. We're talking about games that a kick can end up being the difference of winning and losing. And it's funny because I pulled up the Monday night game, I think from 2007, Dallas Cowboys versus the Buffalo Bills. That night, Tony Romo was atrocious. Tony Romo threw like 5 interceptions, had 2 fumbles, but the defense and special teams kept them into it, and they ended up getting an onside kick and ended up kicking the game-winning field goal. So when you look at that game, do you give the credit to the quarterback and say, hey, great game? Or was it they won because the rest of the team stepped up and helped them win? And that's the difference. We went to the playoffs. Dak Prescott throws for 304 yards, 3 TDs against Aaron Rodgers, goes toe-to-toe, and people say he's a bum. He lost to Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. But that's better numbers than you ever saw from Tony Romo in the playoffs. And don't give me your hate. Don't give me your hate. I'm just pointing out, because if your gold standard is Tony Romo up here, if you're saying he's great, if you're saying he is the guy, and Dak did better than that, what does that say about Dak Prescott? Brandon Butler, thank you for the super chat.
But you know what's up with this, Mark?
What's that?
The only conundrum will be this. I truly believe that Mark Holmes.
Mark Holmes. Okay, what did I do now? I get blamed for everything.
Mark McCarthy, but it's Mike McCarthy. I
Mike
really
McCarthy.
believe that Mike McCarthy. Yeah,
Okay.
man, I'm thinking everybody else, but the coach.
Uh-huh.
I think that he is the quarterback whisperer.
Oh my God, I agree with you on that one. I agree 100%. I think you're going to see.
If Andy get there, boy, it's crazy, because I think that they will still figure out a way to win games, because you got a CeeDee Lamb, you got a Cooper, you got a Jarwin that they're going to release, you got a Ezekiel Elliott and a Tony Pollard, and on top of that,
Oh,
you
he'll
got the
definitely
young
be
feet
better
on
than he
Michael
was in
Gallup.
Cincinnati. But I'm not
Right.
sure at 31 years of age, with the miles that he's had on him and not having that much success in a while, that he is going to be the answer. Because regardless of what you say about the players he's throwing to, you talk about 45 interceptions over the course of the last 4 years. That's a lot. I mean,
That's a lot.
80 touchdowns and 45 interceptions. That's, the interceptions a lot of times are on you.
And he had 3 pick sixes last year.
Right.
That's meaning he threw the ball to the opposition, and they took it to the house.
Yeah.
3 of them.
3, yeah.
I don't want that quarterback in our offense. I don't want that quarterback. But I have to give longitude and latitude to Mike McCarthy because he can help develop a quarterback. So that's why I really want Dak Prescott to get back into the fold, because I don't want us to have lesser talent out there, because you know how this fan base can shift. It's just how it goes. They can shift, and it can be hard for Dak Prescott to get his rightful position back out there if he decides. And here's another thing that I want. This is another thing that I want, and don't crucify me, Cowboy Nation.
Oh, they're going to crucify you, man. They're going to crucify you. You know that.
I do not. I refuse for the young Rain Dakota Prescott to play under that franchise tag, because here's why.
Well, go ahead.
Third week of the season, he drops back, he scans the field, separated shoulder. Y'all saw how everybody turned on him against that Eagles game, because everybody's still holding that game against him. Not like he had a separated shoulder and he didn't practice all that week, and now all of a sudden he's supposed to come out there and walk on water. Now, if people thinking that Cooper Rush, whatever rush you wanted to put it out there,
they rushed his ass on out of here.
They'd have rushed him clean out of here. But what I'm trying to say to everybody is, if I'm Dak Prescott, no way, no how, I'm going to use that guy's slogan, that I would play on that franchise tag. I would have to sit back. Now, if the Cowboys are planning on doing something like that, squeezing him and putting Andy out there, then, boy, it's crazy. But he shouldn't play under that franchise tag. Let me know how you feel about that.
I'll tell you how I feel about it. Because, see, here's the thing. I think that last year, decisions that were made in the front office directly affected what happened on the field. The delay in getting the deal done for D-Law, you have to blame the Cowboys, because they should have actually gotten it done the year before. But to go through and play those games with him where he basically, played a game of chicken and said, I'm not getting that shoulder worked on. He was not able to work out with that shoulder and that upper body all summer, and he was only able to practice that last week of training camp. And there's not that many practices that you have. And I believe that, regardless of how many pressures they say that he had, he was still not the same guy he had been the 2 years before. And that goes back to Jerry Jones and them in that contract. And I believe that Zeke Elliott, not being there at training camp, I know he was on the beach working out in Cabo supposedly and all that, but you and I both know there's being in shape and then there's football shape.
True.
And once the season starts, you're not hitting anymore in the NFL. You have, before this new CBA, you had 11 padded practices during the season, and they all had to be done by week 11. So you come to camp to get in shape for that season. He was there that last few days of training camp. He did not have that. And I still believe a lot of those times we kept seeing my man go like this, hey, I need a blow in key moments. Key moments where you need him there to pick up that yard, he's on the sidelines. I believe that's a direct reflection on him not getting that contract and not being there in training camp. And now here we are facing with the same situation with our quarterback. You got a new coach, you got new players that you're putting in here and all that. This is where you need the quarterback to be there. And I still believe because they didn't get Dak Prescott's deal done last year, instead of taking that ball, tucking and running, I'm not risking my neck too much out here. You know, if I get hurt, you know, I'm getting $2 million. Now, granted, I do have all these television endorsements, all that. But if I end up breaking my leg and I can't play anymore, those endorsements are going to dry up.
Yeah.
And I don't have a contract after the end of this year. So I'm going to make sure I take care of myself. That's what's in the back of my mind. And if I go through this franchise tag right now, I'm sitting here thinking that I got to make sure I get through this season in one piece. I'm not going out there 100% and putting my neck on the line that I can lose my livelihood. You don't have that security in the back of your head. You know when you have paid your car insurance, you ain't speeding out there. Right? You ain't taking a chance. You're worried about I can't hit somebody because if I do, I'm going to go ahead and lose everything. And that's where you look at Dak Prescott. You go through with that franchise tag, okay, all right. I know it's 4th down and 1, but I ain't tucking and running with it. I'm not putting my neck on the line. You didn't put your neck on the line for me. I'm not putting it on for you. And this thing could get ugly as opposed to being, oh, it's okay, we're just going to play in the franchise tag.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, you're one of those guys that got a lot of sweat equity. And when you go to work, I remember listening to some of your first videos, and you still say it to this day. Hey, guys, don't quit your what?
Your day job.
Don't quit your day job because at the end of the day, you know what? We're not promised for tomorrow.
You're right.
All of this stuff can go quickly. And if you think I'm lying, check out Ryan Sazier, you know, playing for the linebacker
one play away
to the Steelers, you know. So
one play away from being retired.
One play away. Every quarterback out there, every player out there, and everybody that's going to be on this 55-man roster is one play away. One, not 2, not 3, but 1. And Dak Prescott, for people that's out there saying that, okay, he's getting paid the endorsement aspect of it, let me know what happened to Cam Newton's endorsement. You remember that? He just questioned a female.
Let me get this question here. Keith Floyd says, no, Mark, Zeke and DeMarcus Lawrence were smart. They saw a young quarterback ascending, and if they didn't get their money before him, they would never get their money. But hold up. What you got to understand is right now, as the franchise tag, I believe Dak Prescott right now is the 5th highest paid player in the NFL, and 5th or 6th. So what you have by being that franchise tag, that's a hard number. You can't prorate that. You can't, play the numbers and say, we're going to kick some of that down the road. You can't say I'm going to use this as guaranteed money divided up by the length of the contract. That is a hard number. You are paying the most of anybody by using the franchise tag. See, that's what most of you don't understand. Because, see, here's the thing. It would be stupid for the Dallas Cowboys if they're planning on keeping Dak Prescott to pay him as a franchise tag quarterback. Because guess what's going to happen next year? The same thing that happened this year. It would have been wise to have gotten this done last year at about $28 million. Now you're looking at 36. You wait another year, it's going to be in the 40s. And that's where it's like, just get this thing done. Just get it done. You got the room. In fact, I don't know if you looked at the salary cap. After exchanging Cooper Rush for Andy Dalton, we currently have $9.5 million on the cap. Which, but no, hold up. Now here's where it's cool, because that's before you add the $7.5 million that comes June 1st for Travis Frederick. So that means we actually have right around $17 million. If they get Dak Prescott's deal done, most of the times they're back loaded. So the first year you end up having that reduction in money on there. So you'll probably take that $32 million you have right now and probably be like $23 million. So you're looking at another $7 and $8 million right there that they'll increase on the cap right there. So now we're talking about having $25 million to still play with this offseason. So as everybody says, well, you can't pay Dak because of this. By doing this franchise tag, you're costing yourself more money this year right now. And any money that you have left over this year rolls over to next year.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a good feeling, but they need to go ahead and sign the guy, basically, and that's just the reality of it.
Yeah, and they will,
but it could be, like I said, his agency with this okay, who's bigger, who's little, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how this thing can work its way out, especially knowing how stubborn Jerry Wayne is.
He's stubborn, but eventually it seems like he's the one that gives in. He gave in on
Right.
D-Law. He gave in on,
Right.
Emmitt Smith. He gave in on Des Bryant. He gave in on Zeke Elliott. He ends up giving in on all these. But he puts you through holy hell for it. I still,
You missed out one person he gave in on.
Who else?
Jason Garrett.
Oh,
he
God.
gave in on Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett come
man.
into that meeting. And they say he started crying. He saw the waterworks, and he said, "You know what, son?"
I still can't. I'm still trying to understand how it is that we kept him for so long, man. I'm sorry. Why?
Wasted many a good years.
The amount of talent that the Dallas Cowboys had come through. So everybody want to go through and blame, Dak Prescott, he ended up not carrying us through. Well, you could look at the same thing with Tony Romo's career, that we had players. We had really good players that went on to other places and won Super Bowls, but they couldn't get it done. How many times have you had the NFL leading rusher on your team, two different guys, within 4 years, 3 years? Two different. We had two NFL leading rushers, two different guys. Think about that. Some teams have never had the NFL leading rusher on their team ever. Right. We had two different guys within 3 or 4 years of each other. We had arguably, the best offensive line. You had outstanding wide receivers like Des Bryant. You had, a generational edge rusher in DeMarcus Ware. You got, one of the best tight ends in the history of football. And yet you got 3 playoff wins. It's like, how did you keep that guy? But then again, we kept the kicker last year. We kept holding on to Maher. And it was like, we all, every time we went to kick a football, I went like this. I can't look. I just can't look, man. Just tell me, did he miss it? Oh, he missed it again. I mean, it was just like, what are you doing, Cowboy? What are you doing?
It's silly, man. It's silly. And on top of that, I challenge everybody, man, including you, Mark.
I'm getting challenged.
Name me 5 good games that you can say, man, this coaching staff outcoached the opposition. Just name me 5.
I can't find one. I can't find one. I can't listen. I have challenged people before too. It's like, okay, I want you to name one innovation that you can look back and say, yeah, that was Jason Garrett. Besides the clap, that's the only thing I can think that he's ever brought to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Come
on, Chap. Come on.
That and his, oh damn, I can't even think of some of the ones. Finish the fight. Let's see, what were some of the other ones? Recommit. Ricky Lee, thank you for the super chat. That's all you ever got. And anytime there was problems, Jason Garrett always went the other way. Des Bryant blows up, boom, he goes the other way. So let me ask you, speaking of Des Bryant. So Des Bryant, went off about the Cowboys not signing Dak Prescott and everything else. What's your thoughts on that?
My thing is with Dez Bryant, he wanted to get back into the NFL. I did a video earlier today about the confines of code. There's a certain thing that you got to do in order to get what you want in life.
Right.
Dez Bryant, we love him. We know that he's passionate. Nevertheless, if he wanted to get back into the NFL, just hush sometimes.
He needs to.
Now.
That's the biggest problem.
Now,
that is the biggest problem because he wears everything on his sleeve. He gonna let you know exactly how he feels.
Mm-hmm. And we love Dez. We love his passion. We love his grind. Nevertheless, when you think of his overall collective skill set, we would say yes, he's there. But by him saying, okay, Tony Romo got 2 contracts before Dak Prescott got his one. My only thing is with that is that there is a contract on the table for Dak Prescott. And when he was going back and forth with the tags or what have you, I've seen Drew Brees get tagged. I've seen Peyton Manning get tagged. So sometimes they put these tags so that they can continue to negotiate. If the Cowboys had no love affair for Dak Prescott, then he would have been treated like the Jameson, or he would have been let go like the Cam Newtons of the world. I think the Cowboys really love Dak Prescott, but my biggest gripe with this whole entire situation is Dak Prescott camp, his agents. Somehow I think that they are muddying this thing up. I could be 100% wrong, Mark. I could be. But I just think it's the agency. Let me know in the chat, because for those who personally know Dak Prescott, you got a chance to meet him. You know that he's the first one there, the last one to leave. Do you sense or do you see any greediness about himself, any selfishness? Because last I checked, especially out there in Mississippi State, this guy would give you his shirt off his back.
Yeah.
He's not that
You're right
selfish
about
dude
that.
that everybody's saying that he is.
You know what? I need to laugh here for a second. So here we go. Man, that always makes me feel better. Yeah. Okay. So, because you guys got a great quarterback there in Carson Wheelchair Wentz, man. You guys are good. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for y'all. But, they're pushing the schedule up now on Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. They're going to be doing the schedule announcement. Now,
Okay. What day? What day?
Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, so Central, 7 o'clock. Yeah, they moved it up. Originally, it was supposed to be the 9th, but they moved up the announcement on that. The Dallas Cowboys, if you go by strength of wins and losses from last year, Pick and Pop, thank you for that super chat. Appreciate it, bro. If you look at strength of schedule, wins and losses for last year, Dallas Cowboys have like the third easiest schedule. Now, of course, that's always subject to change because, like last year, everybody thought that the Rams were going to be great and they were kind of trashy and so forth. But at the moment, that actually looks like a pretty easy schedule. So we could be in a great position to start out if we can get our quarterback in there and get all these new pieces together. With the draft, and we had a ball watching the Eagles melt down, do you think, in your opinion, and try not to be a homer, try to think with your head, not your heart, I think we've passed the Eagles in free agency in the draft. Your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's trying to be analytical for us because I think we've gone through and we looked at every spot where we were losing somebody, and with the changes of systems that we got people to fit the new systems more than what we had before. The only problem I think which still worries me is the secondary. But the offense should be killer.
Front four is there, linebackers. If you go, let's go line by line. Our front four versus their front four. Yeah, they got some dogs there, but I think that our linebackers is a whole lot better. Even when you think about the secondary, yes, they have Slay, but last I checked, Slay did.
Slay, I think he's overrated.
Although Slay,
I think he's overrated.
Yeah, he can't roll coverage everywhere. So if Slay tried to shut down Cooper, then Gallup eat. It's pick your poison type of offense now. And then if you think about the defensive side of the ball or our offensive side of the ball with Ezekiel Elliott, yes, their Miles Sanders kid was pretty good last year. And I know everybody's going to point out the fact that they beat us without a number one wide receiver.
Yeah.
I know
but
we can't ever hit the end of that.
But hold on. But see, here's the thing, man. See, people are thinking old school because think about like a guy like Antonio Brown who's led the league before, in receiving, right? How much playoff success has he had in his career? Because you look at wide receivers, you've seen a lot of great wide receivers that never get a whole lot of success. in the postseason playoffs and things like that. What you end up seeing, though, more than anything else, is you look at the last Super Bowl teams for about the last 5 years or so, every one of them's had a great tight end.
True.
Every one of them. Tight ends right now, to me, can be more important than that number one wide receiver. That is that security blanket. That is that guy who, where he's helping out with the run blocking, but also can go deep. And that's the thing that kind of hurt us in the last few years, is because Jason Witten, I think a lot of teams looked at Jason Witten and said, if we're going to leave somebody open, we would rather Jason Witten get the ball than Amari Cooper or Michael Gallup. Because Jason Garrett, he catches the ball 6-7 yards. He's not going to get but 2 more yards. Michael Gallup can get 20, 30 yards down the field. We don't want those guys to get the ball. So let's kind of leave that guy as the go-to guy, because that's picking your poison. So we haven't had a tight end who's a game changer like a Zach Ertz, like a Gronk, like a Kelsick. You know what I'm saying? And you keep talking about the Eagles. Oh, they didn't have anybody to throw to. They had 2 really good tight ends up in there, and Miles Sanders was great out the backfield. So don't let that whole thing, because you see, that's the kind of shit that you get on TV. They say, oh, well, he didn't have a wide receiver that had over 500 yards.
Right.
No, because the tight ends and the running back got the lion's share of the passing. That's the misconception right there. And we have not had that tight end who's been able to be that lights out guy. And hopefully Blake Jarwin can step into that role and be able to, eat a few more yards than what Jason Witten was doing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody set on Jason Witten routes, 5 and 6 and out.
Yeah.
And they know exactly where that ball was going to be at. So he kind of crippled the team in a sense, although he used to be old reliable. Nevertheless, when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, yes, they killed us with the run game. And I think the Miles Sanders kid, he even came out saying that, hey, I know what the Cowboys were trying to do. Coaching went over it, and he said that they like to just get upfield. They didn't have no discipline. Zero discipline. Old school defense of the Tampa 2 or cover 2 defense. Come on, man. That's what you did out there in JMU. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Now,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's the same style of defense that people learn in middle school, high school, and college. The simple old cover 2, and you got 2 vertical tight ends that can kill into the inside of the field. The one pass that they did call on the Dallas Cowboys was a wheel route against a linebacker that was trying to cover number 84. I believe that was his number, and he caught the big pass down the field. But that was the only big pass that they threw to their wide receiver.
Right. Now, I'm going to ask you one more question here. What is the what is the biggest move that you've seen or that you have liked the most for the Dallas Cowboys this offseason? Besides firing Jason Garrett.
We say the fat boys are back.
Man. There's so many things I like so far. Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. The big boys inside, man. I think that the Poe signing and the McCoy signing will benefit us down the line more so than anything, especially when we look back at this defense from last year. They just couldn't win their one-on-ones. And it was Antoine Barbecue Woods, Malik Collins, Covington kid. They just couldn't whoop up on the one-on-one.
They couldn't just right, exactly. Yeah. Everything was won by a stunt.
Yeah. Stunt, twisting, trying to get around. They just couldn't do none of that stuff. And all flying out to the ball, not playing any lane discipline. And we saw that it just like you said, old school football. You want the blueprint on how to beat the Cowboys? Run the rock. Let them
right up the middle.
Their physicality and just rip their heart out, and that's what teams were able to do.
Well, I tell you what my thing is. With the coaching staff, see, the problem for me that I look at the Dallas Cowboys was the view of everything we did was from the Dallas Cowboys of the past. Jason Garrett's only experience was 1 year as the quarterback coach under Nick Saban, comes back to Dallas, becomes the offensive coordinator and the head coach. And all of the coaching staff were either former players or former coaches with the Cowboys. So everything pointed back to what the Cowboys used to do. What I love about what we have with this coaching staff, it's more like a world view. Phoeben from being at Miami and being a head coach and stuff now is the offensive line coach. Getting I can't think of his name, the special teams coach from the Rams. That view of what the way they did things. Okay, you having Mike Nolan, who coached for a while as a head coach in the 49ers, wasn't successful, but was part of that Baltimore Ravens defense as a defensive coordinator, and the way played in New Orleans, which was the resurrection of that defense. Because that defense, after we had Rob Ryan go down there, they were one of the worst defenses in the NFL. That defense turned around. Thank you, Papa Lockett, for that super chat. For him, and you looked at the way my boy Demario Davis and those linebackers played downhill. You've got a view and ideas from around the NFL of things that you can put together. And it's kind of like the United States. When you take all the different nationalities and experiences in the world and you put together, you get the best ideas and you come up with the different solutions than if you were only looking at things as one-sided. And that's the problem with the Dallas Cowboys is we got stale. We were still living in the 90s. Where everybody else, before there was a smartphone, everybody else has got the Samsung, S20 and, the iPhone 50 and shit, and you're still up with a pager over here. And those are things that hampered this team because there was no creativity. And to hear Mike McCarthy on Saturday during the draft was talking with Kellen Moore with different wrinkles that they were coming up with because they got CeeDee Lamb, makes you think, oh my God, there's going to be creativity. We're going to be doing different things. There'll be some innovations that we haven't seen. We all know pretty much about 70% of the time it's going to be on first down, Zeke Elliott running the ball right up the middle with Jason Garrett. If the game is a tight game, we know that's exactly what he's going to go to. He's going to revert back to, we just got to run the football up the middle. And that same stupid stuff ended up killing us over and over again. And so that's the thing that excites me is that we're going to have different perspectives from coaching that hopefully will help give us a different result. We've got players. We got a lot of dogs. And I know a lot of people will say, we need to go ahead and trade for Jamal Adams and get a safety. Wait. I got to give you the dumbest comment that I heard today. The dumbest comment that I heard today is, now that we've got Andy Dalton, we can trade Dak Prescott for a safety.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, what? Wait. I was like, what?
Man, it's silly, man. This world we live in. I understand people that don't like Dak Prescott. I understand, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But they just take stuff too far sometimes.
That would, like I said, you really, you really just don't understand football. You're going to trade a quarterback for a safety.
Positional value is very low on the low positional value. Man, it's crazy, man. Oh my goodness. It's crazy, man. Oh my goodness.
All right, so what you got going on your channel right now, man?
No, just daily uploads. If people want to see daily uploads, just go to my channel.
It ain't like we got anything else to do, man. We hopefully are sitting at home, staying safe and everything else, man.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we are getting past this whole thing, man. I am ready to get the football season on. I'm afraid that I don't think we're going to be able to be at the games. I'm not sure that in a few months that we'll be in position to that. I just hope that we can at least have the games.
Yeah. I think we should. I think the season will be here. I think that everything will go as planned. We would just see if what will happen in the next few following months or what have you. Yeah. When the world get hot, when they found the vaccine, there was some trial clinical drugs that were securing and helping people out with these ailments. But we do know that this pandemic has set a lot of things back as relates to football operations. And of course, the football league is all about fair and unity. So they can't just open up one facility and not open up all.
Yeah.
I understand that. So I just feel like the way that the NFL is heading, that we still may have a season here.
You got to think, you know how the NFL is, man. They got more money than some countries do. Brandon Butler, thank you for becoming a channel member, man. Make sure you email me at cowboysmark94@gmail so I can get you your shot glass out for you.
Shot glasses.
See, here's the NFL. The NFL could go through and say, you know what, worst comes to worst. We're going to test every one of you guys, and we just going to take you away and put you on an island for 6 months. We're going to give you a 25% bonus, and we're going to play games because they will make so much money if it's still the pandemic and we can't get out. If they are the only game in town, they've already talked about, they've got contingency plans set up that if college football can't be played, they will play games on Saturday as well. Think about that.
I heard about that.
If the NFL if there's no college football and they got Saturday too, shit, man. Pick and pop. Thank you for the super chat, man. That would be huge because we're all stars. Yeah. And you think about logistically wise, you got 32 teams. Okay, you got about 2,000 or so players that you have to deal with. That's a whole lot easier to deal with than it would be for college campuses when you think about how many college teams there are, how many players and logistics of playing and all that. The NFL could pull it off. I don't know that the college teams will be able to.
Yeah, I think the NFL can pull it off because of the money aspect of it. This country and this world, I think that herd immunity will eventually happen. And for those who don't know what herd immunity is when you have a collective group of people who develop immunities to this pandemic, and they figure out ways to extract some of that, and they submit it off, and then they can completely have some antibiotics or a cure, a vaccine type of situation for this pandemic situation. But herd immunity is what they're looking for, and 9 times out of 10, when we start talking about this, we heading toward that way because they open up some things, and we seeing some drop offs as relates to this thing. So hopefully, I'm just being optimistic. I know that some people, lost some loved ones to this crazy pandemic, but I'm very optimistic, and I feel exactly what you're saying, Mark.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to get ready to get up out of here. Law, not that everybody knows where to find Law Nation, but Law, tell everybody where to find you, which is everywhere. Everywhere. I mean, I turn over, there's Law Nation. He's under a rock too. Damn. But go ahead, everybody up.
I'm in the ether, baby. LAW Nation. Find me on Facebook. Find me on Instagram, Twitter at LAW Nation. Also Periscope. Hit me up on all of those platforms. I really appreciate everybody, man. Thank those who support this channel, and thank those who subscribe and share. Pick and pop, man.
Pick and pop. Thank you very much for the super chat. Damn. Well, you guys know what time it is. It's time to get your shot glass ready. You guys got your shot?
Yeah, let's get it.
Get that shot, ready. Man. Get that shot. So let me go ahead and let me show you guys. I don't know if you guys noticed this tonight. Okay, I don't know if you noticed it. You remember we had the logo. This is actually the very first shirt. I got mine today on Teespring. If you do want to get one, okay, you stay all capitals. Stay home, and you get 20% off on the Teespring store. The link, of course, is in the channel, right underneath all the videos and stuff. You know where it is. You know where it is, okay? But get your shot glasses ready. And I got to thank all of the great fans that have supported, become channel members, and everything else. We gonna check them out right now. All right, so that's gonna run for a minute and a half. that makes me feel so good. There's only, no, it doesn't make me feel as good. I mean, this one doesn't make me feel as good as this one. But seeing all those wonderful fans that support the channel, but this does make me feel good though too. I got to admit that this was actually really, really good. So just a little bit.
What? Look at that. He's at this. Did the screen freeze? Is it still light? Look. Looking for the corona. Oh my God! Look at this! Wow, that has to be the stupidest thing I've ever. Oh my God! Are you gonna take a quarterback back in the second? Oh my God! Are you kidding me? What did you just trade Carson then? Are you kidding me? You just took a quarterback in the second round. This team is so good.
That's kind of funny, man.
They don't need to take. They don't need anything else, right? They're so good. They don't. This has to be for some sort of trade. There has to be something to this. This don't make any sense. Eagles UK, thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry. This is stupidity at its finest. There has to be something else going on.
Man, you gotta love you got to love that. Karen, thank you very much for becoming a channel member. Make sure you email me down here, cowboysmark94@gmail, so I can get your shot glass. And any members who have become members and I have not gotten you your shot glass, email me cowboysmark94@gmail so we can get it out to you. Some of the stuff is running a little slower than others. Some stuff's kind of going through a little bit quicker than others, but this one is for all you guys and girls out there. I appreciate all the support and everything that you have given me. You guys help keep me sane, and I look so forward to Mondays, and I can't believe I actually say that, but I know when Mondays come around, I can see all my friends up in here. Salute to you guys. Woo! And with that being said, it's time to turn out the lights. This party's over.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.
Got a whole bunch more channel memberships we got to box up tomorrow, and we got a lot of work to do. Oh, I will see you guys later. Thank you very much for being here and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report, but we turn off the lights now.